Hi, everybody. Welcome. We've had Matt on before, and we've talked about how Ribbon connects telcos to Operator Connect Accelerator and Microsoft. But today we're going to talk about more of what Ribbon do than just Microsoft, that it's specifically connecting operators to WebEx. Hey, Matt, do you just want to introduce yourself and give some context?
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Nice to be here again. Matt Hurst, I'm Technical Director at Ribbon. So we are building solutions for operators and also partners to be able to integrate voice solutions into different UCaaS clouds. And as Tom said before, we've talked about Microsoft Operator Connect. But yeah, specifically today, I think, Tom, it'd be good to dive into Cisco WebEx and their cloud peering program.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into this. Before I was in the Microsoft space, before I was doing all the OC and Link and Skype, I was actually in the Cisco space doing Call Manager. Way back, Call Manager 4, Call Manager 5. Yeah. Obviously, Cisco's come a long way from those days, and it's all WebEx and WebEx calling now. Maybe we could start there, because Cisco have acquired, they've got different offers. So which service is this connecting to?
Yeah, so this is specifically for WebEx. So the program is called Cloud Connect for WebEx calling. As you say, they've done a number of acquisitions, and actually Cisco, if you look at it, they've got a fantastic heritage of voice in the cloud, and particularly around UCaaS and contact center. They've got really strong solutions there. So as you say, they've evolved their solutions as a lot of other vendors have to move from on-premise solutions to more cloud-based solutions. So we've been engaged with Cisco for a long time now on helping operators and enterprises integrate voice into their voice solutions. So that's a CCP, Cloud Connect calling program, on-premise Cisco solutions, the Cookham solutions. You're probably familiar with, Tom, from your days working there. But very much they're following the same trajectory in the market, that everything's moving to a cloud-based model. And that has to include digital automation for the customer experience. It has to include quality of service. And I would actually say that with the WebEx solution in the cloud, Cisco are really laser focused on ensuring that the voice quality and the call quality and the customer experience is at the top and forefront of everything they do. The extensive testing and work we've been through with Cisco over the last sort of 6 to 12 months is second to none. They really pay attention to complex call flows, voice quality. They know voice inside out. Yeah, for us, it's a natural fit working with them because, we're heritage in the carrier market, working on voice day in, day out.
Yeah, and it feels like this is the way the industry's going now. You've got the big UCaaS players, and they're all, it seems, come to the realization that to offer the best service to the customer, they need to be working with multiple telcos. So the customer has the choice of telcos, but they want to streamline that experience, guarantee that experience. So that's what's happening here, right? Is you buy your WebEx, but then you choose your carrier.
Yeah, absolutely. And by choosing a carrier that's within the Cisco WebEx hub, again, it's a certified operator that you can rely on. And I think on the flip side, if you look at it from the operator's point of view, again, you're right. The market, the trajectory is moving into cloud-based multi-UCaaS. So an operator can't afford, I don't think, to be tied to just one integration and one certification to a particular UCaaS, because the customers are not just going to be there. They're going to be everywhere.
And that's what I'm seeing. And we've seen it in the research, and we're seeing it in the real world as well. Obviously, there's a few big players now, and you want to be able to offer your customers as a telco. You've done M&A and you've got some people on this platform. We can offer you telco for that. You've got this platform. We can offer you that. I think Cavell have some really good research where they're highlighting the telcos that can offer direct certified connectivity into all the major platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's like that Venn diagram of which operators provide integration to which UCaaS platforms. And I think that's going to be a trend for this year and the coming years, is both contact center and UCaaS solutions, operators being able to offer their customers at the end of the day whatever the customer wants.
Yeah. And so how does that work? So I'm a telco.
Yeah.
How do I get from where I am today to being in that WebEx hub, having my icon there, having all the connectivity? What does that look like?
Yeah. So what Ribbon offer with our Ribbon Connect solution for the WebEx calling, it's part of what they call the CCP program, the Cisco CCP program, which is Cloud Connect for WebEx calling. Ribbon will provide you all of the kind of onboarding experience. So we work very closely with the Cisco team to onboard operators. we work through all of the certifications. So if you're a telco operator, you don't have to worry about, is your infrastructure the right infrastructure certified for Cisco WebEx? You don't have to worry about the certificates, the interconnects and everything else. Ribbon provide that as part of the Ribbon Connect service. We interface to the operator on one side, and then we interface into the WebEx Cloud on the other side. We provide all of the necessary peering that an operator telco may need to establish. And I'll explain there's a couple of variants within the CTP program that an operator can choose to do. But fundamentally, we're going to remove all of that complexity from the operator to onboard with Cisco. So our solution is certified by Cisco. We're able to onboard operators and take them through the test phase and the qualification phase in much the same way as we do for the other UCaaS platforms.
I assume that's only a select number of partners that work with Cisco that have that capability, both from an infrastructure point of view and from a certification point of view, to take telcos on that journey. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cisco are very selective in terms of who they're choosing to be able to do this work. So it's called the enablement program within the WebEx. So we are a certified enablement partner, and we are there to help the operators to interconnect and do the certification and make sure that all of their voice services uphold to those stringent standards I mentioned earlier that Cisco have.
And what does that look like timeline-wise for me as a telco? I know obviously it's going to vary depending on how fast the telco can move, and we all know that can be faster or slower sometimes.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
to take that out of the equation and the contracts, like from a technical point of view, are we talking months of work, weeks of work? What's that look like?
It's measured in weeks, really. As you say, it's very difficult to determine based on the operator and all the different things they have to comply with and then what speed they move at. But ultimately, it's a matter of weeks. We can set up the peering connections and we can get the trunks in place and we can go through the certification testing with the Cisco operations team in a matter of a few weeks to get them live in GA. The peering piece, I mentioned earlier, there was a couple of different routes. So within the WebEx program, there's something called a calling provider or a certified calling provider. So a couple of alternate routes. We can support both. And it fundamentally comes down to what level of geo redundancy and resiliency the operator wants to provide into the WebEx cloud. If they can support a standard single connectivity with redundancy in their infrastructure, or you can have fully geo redundant resiliency. So that will be the fully certified route. So we can support operators and telcos want to do either of those.
That's interesting. That's interesting that they made a distinction there to help their customers pick someone who's invested more in resiliency and that's important to them, or I'm guessing probably with less resiliency, maybe more price aggressive on their calling plans because they're not doing quite so much work. Yeah,
correct. And I think, again, it comes down to geolocations. We've talked about this before, that certain geos have more stringent requirements than other geos. And it may be that it's easier for a particular telco. They may be, for example, centered wholly around the US, but they want to be able to provide some limited service to some customers in Europe. It's not worth making a huge investment in Europe in the infrastructure, but if they can just do the standard interconnect there until their business grows, then they can move to the certified with the full geo redundancy in Europe, for example.
And as a telco, do I go to Cisco first to get a tick off and then I come to you as the partner to help me come on board, or do I come to you first and you can help me with that Cisco relationship?
The route really is to come to us as an enablement provider first. We can have a discussion around what the program is, and we would then give the information into Cisco to get you accepted as a telco into the program and make sure all the minimum requirements are met as a telco, which territories you're going to be offering service in, etc. So we provide that interface directly as part of the service into Cisco. And then once you're accepted to the program, we would then work through that timeline of all the peering requirements and the sit-front setup.
That's value just in its own right there, because trying to engage directly with these massive UCaaSs can be quite challenging. So the fact that people can come to you and even have an initial conversation about, is it even right for us? Is it possible? What's it look like for us considering our infrastructure and cost models? That's already super useful, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. We've done this a number of times. We spent quite a lot of time working with Cisco on all of that. Our certification as an enablement provider, so we know what to do. And we can help the operator through on that journey.
And what does this look like commercially, Matt? People always want to know, right? Is this telco investments can be huge sometimes. You guys are bringing expertise to the game, but also infrastructure to the game. What's it broadly look like commercially?
Yeah, so broadly, it's a fee for sort of the initial onboarding and helping the operator telco through that journey, the certification, and then a monthly recurring fee for the service. And the service is not just the connectivity in the SBC, but it's a fully managed service from Ribbon, and it also includes some other sort of value-add services in terms of an analytics platform insight, so you can get some idea of service health and performance of the service, and also ongoing support for updates and changes in APIs, in SIP interconnect standards, header changes, anything like that. That's all included as part of the service.
And those are two really big deals, right? Because you might be a telco listening saying, we're a telco, right? We do infrastructure, we know what SIP is, we can do a peering.
Yeah.
But the analytics, so these UCaaS vendors are keeping a high standard with their partners. So you need to be able to prove you're delivering the service you contractually said you would. And then from an API point of view, these are software houses, not telco houses. So they move fast. They'll be like, hey, here's a new feature. We're expecting you to support it in the next X amount of days.
Yeah.
And we all know that in-house dev can be challenging to move at that kind of pace when you're used to telco infrastructure pace.
Yeah, absolutely. They're two very different paced worlds, and for good reason on both sides. So yeah, we help to bridge and fix that for the telcos, so they don't have to worry about all those updates. We take care of that as part of the service. And I think the service quality piece is really where it's at for the UCaaS platforms, to make sure that they can differentiate their service or ensure that their service is a great experience for the end customer, so as they don't lose their customers who may look elsewhere. So by ensuring that the quality of service is up there at the top and top of mind is really important.
Yeah, I think it's a great move for the industry, is that the UCaaS vendors are taking responsibility or joint responsibility for the customer choice there, because it impacts their brand. If they let anybody and everybody connect and it turns out to be a suboptimal experience, the end user has the WebEx brand on their screen. They don't know who the telco is. They just see WebEx and they have a poor experience. So yeah. I think it's really good that they're taking these certifications seriously.
Yeah, and it's really important, because if you move back a few years to the on-premise type solutions like the cooking solutions or other UCaaS on-premise solutions, if you think about the amount of work that a partner would put into analyzing the network, making sure that the quality of service on routers and Wi-Fi points and everything was in place to make sure that the experience was high quality, that now has shifted into the cloud. So it's critically important that the UCaaS vendors pay attention to that and make sure that their telco interconnects, because it's not on-premise anymore, it's cloud, to make sure that experience is just as high.
Yeah, and I think you as a telco want to be advertising how seriously you take it, hence being certified being so important. And I certainly see on RFPs and RFIs now starting to come through, like the telco connectivity must be at the appropriate certification level for the platform. So that's starting to become an ask from the customer side. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's a good thing. As you say, I think it's a great thing for the industry as more and more shifts to the cloud, particularly when you look at contact center moving to the cloud as well. And also emergency services moving something. It's critical. It's not something that can be ignored.
Definitely. Cool. So Matt, if people want to find out more and have that initial conversation with you and the team at Ribbon about, is it right for us? What does it look like? What's the best thing to do?
Yeah, you can reach out to your local Ribbon sales rep. You can go to the Ribbon websites, or you can connect with me directly. I'm sure you share some details, Tom, as well. After
we can put a link down in the description, or ping us and we can put you in touch.
Yep, and have that initial conversation. Absolutely. No problem at all.
Great. All right. Thanks for your time, Matt. Really appreciate you taking us through that.
Super. Cheers, Tom.